yourself first. I want to know the hidden signs that she's always thinking about you. You might be missing the subtle signals that she is sending every day. If she does this repeatedly and naturally, it often means you're not just someone she interacts with occasionally, but someone her mind returns to without effort. In female psychology, attraction develops first as a mental engagement, where a man becomes emotionally and cognitively relevant long before anything is openly expressed. When you're consistently on her mind, it reflects in your prioritization rather than surface level interest or situational attraction. Female attraction is rarely impulsive or obvious in its earliest stages because women tend to process emotions internally before translating them into action. When she thinks about you often, her brain is subconsciously evaluating how you make her feel, how safe she feels around you, and how emotionally stimulating your presence is. This internal evaluation is what turns curiosity into attachment over time. One of the strongest hidden attraction signals is when her behavior reflects a continuity rather than reaction. If her interest feels steady instead of fluctuating based on attention, suggests you're already integrated into her mental and emotional framework. Continuity means she doesn't need constant reminders to think about you because your presence is already established internally. When a woman thinks about a man often, she unconsciously assigns emotional meaning to interactions that may seem small on the surface. Simple conversations, shared humor, or brief moments gain significance because her mind associates them with positive emotional states. These associations cause her thoughts to return to you even in unrelated moments. Female psychology relies heavily on emotional memory, and if she remembers details you barely recall mentioning, it indicates emotional engagement. The brain filters out what is irrelevant and stores what carries emotional weight. So remembering your preferences, experiences, or viewpoints shows that you triggered a meaningful inner response. Subscribe and stay tuned to learn the secret behaviors that reveal her true feelings. If she reaches out without a clear practical reason, it often means you serve in her thoughts organically. This kind of contact is driven by emotional recall rather than necessity, which is a strong indicator of mental presence. She is not reaching out to accomplish something, she is reaching out to reconnect. Attraction strengthens when a woman feels emotionally understood, and when that happens, her mind naturally revisits the person who made her feel that way. If she thinks about how conversations with you made her feel rather than just what was said, it shows that you left an emotional imprint rather than a temporary impression. Female attraction signals often appear subtle because women are more likely to protect emotional vulnerability. If she shows interest in ways that feel calm, intentional, and understated, it usually means that the attraction has already formed internally. A thought comes before expression, especially when emotions matter. When she thinks about you often, her communication tends to feel emotionally present rather than transactional. She engages in ways that continue the interaction, ask deeper questions, or respond thoughtfully instead of giving minimal replies. These behaviors require mental energy, which is reserved for people who matter. Emotional safety plays a major role in female attraction, and if she associates you with comfort, understanding, or emotional ease, her mind will return to you naturally. People don't repeatedly think about those who make them feel tense or uncertain. They think about those who create emotional balance. If she mirrors your tone, pacing, or communication style over time, it can indicate subconscious alignment. And mirroring often occurs when someone feels mentally connected and emotionally invested. It's not imitation, but synchronization driven by inner comfort and attraction. A woman who thinks about you often may show heightened awareness of your emotional state. If she notices changes in your mood or energy without being told, it suggests attentiveness rooted in thought. Attention follows mental engagement, not politeness. Female psychology processes attraction through inner storytelling, where she bears a meaning around how interactions fit into her emotional world. If you become part of that inner narrative, she revisits you mainly as a part of understanding her own emotions and desires. Even silence doesn't weaken the connection, but instead feels narrow or even warm. It often means the bond exists internally. She doesn't need constant interaction to stay emotionally connected because you're already present in her thoughts. Many persons reduces a dependency on frequency. If she includes you in hypothetical or future-oriented conversations, even subtly, it reflects subconscious projection. The mind rarely places someone into future scenarios unless they already feel emotionally relevant. A projection is a strong sign of inner attachment. When a woman thinks about a man, often she may unconsciously adjust her behavior to maintain emotional harmony. This can appear as choosing words, carefully being considerate of boundaries, or avoiding unnecessary conflict. This behavior signals emotional value. Female attraction tends to deepen through emotional resonance rather than excitement alone. If interactions with you leave an emotional echo that lingers, her mind will return to that feeling repeatedly. Emotional echoes create mental loops which are central to attraction. If she reacts emotionally to your presence or absence, suggests mental importance. Emotional reactions, whether subtle curiosity, warmth, or concern, indicate that your actions affect her inner state. Indifference usually signals a lack of mental engagement. When she seeks your opinion or values your perspective, it reflects respect combined with attraction. Valuing someone's viewpoint often means they occupy a meaningful place in one's cognitive hierarchy. Respect strengthens emotional interest. Female psychology often hides attraction behind irrational behavior, especially when emotions feel significant. If her actions feel intentional but restrained, it may indicate attraction she hasn't yet fully externalized. Inner clarity often precedes external expression. If she associates everyday experiences with you, such as signs, places, or sound, it shows cognitive linking. These associations form only when someone has emotional relevance. A cognitive linking keeps a person eminently present even without interaction. A woman who thinks about you often will unconsciously protect the emotional connection. She may be patient, forgiving, or understanding in ways that she is not with others. Protection behaviors indicate emotional investment, and when she engages with emotional depth rather than surface level charm, it suggests cognitive attraction. Depth-oriented responses require vulnerability and thought, which are rarely offered without genuine interest. Female attraction grows through emotional consistency, and if she perceives you as emotionally stable, her mind will return to you as a point of reference. Stability creates trust, and trust strengthens mental attachment. If she feels comfortable sharing personal thoughts or emotions, it suggests mental safety. Emotional openness emerges when someone feels understood and valued. Feeling valued encourages a new thought and attachment. A big part of our family by subscribing and turning on notification. A woman who thinks about you often may test emotional consistency unconsciously. These tests aren't games but internal evaluations of reliability. Reliability is a key factor in long-term attraction. When she remembers how you made her feel more than what you did, it indicates emotional memory. Emotional memory is stronger and more enduring than factual memory, making it a powerful indicator of attraction. Human psychology prioritizes emotional intelligence, and if she responds positively to yours, it can deepen mental engagement. Emotional attunement creates a sense of connection that lingers beyond interaction. If she feels emotionally impacted by shared moments, those moments were replayed mentally. Repetition strengthens emotional bonds, and bonds are reinforced through reflection rather than constant contact. A woman who thinks about you often will subconsciously align emotional timing as she reaches out when emotionally receptive rather than randomly. Emotional timing reflects awareness and inner connection. When she expresses curiosity about your inner world, values, or mindset, it suggests deeper attraction. Curiosity about the inner self indicates emotional and cognitive investment. Female attraction is often quiet but persistent, expressed through attention rather than pursuit. If her attention feels steady and intentional, it usually means you already occupy a space in her thoughts. If she feels emotionally affected by your approval or disapproval, it suggests mental importance. Emotional sensitivity towards someone's opinion reflects underlying attraction and thought investment. When interactions with you feel emotionally grounding rather than draining, her mind will naturally return to you. People repeatedly think about those who regulate their emotion positively. Ultimately, if she does this consistently, it means you're not just present in her life but present in her mind. And mental presence is her foundation of attraction, emotional connection, and attachment. When someone occupies your thoughts without effort, they already matter more than they may openly show. Thank you for watching to the end. Have a lovely time.